Hello, my name is Mutlu Pada. I'll be talking about the Shah of Iran. Muhammad Reza Shah Pahlavi was born in Tehran in 1919 and was the ruler of Iran from 1941 to 1979. He was the eldest son of his father Reza Shah, the previous Shah of Iran, who reigned from 1925 to 1941. After being in primary school in Switzerland, he returned to Iran in 1939. He then went to marry on the sister of the King of Egypt. Unfortunately, they separated, and then the Shah had married twice after, finally to Farah Diba in 1950. Being the heir to the throne, he replaced his father on the 16th of September 1941, right before his 22nd birthday. Due to the fact that he was young and some people felt he was not ready to rule, there was extreme conflict between himself and the nationalist Mohammad Mossadegh, who wanted the position. During World War II, Britain and the USSR had claimed land in Iran due to friendly relations with Reza Shah and Germany, which is the reason why Reza Shah had fled Iran in 1941. Therefore, Muhammad Shah's entrance into government was accompanied with political disarray, economic problems, and food shortages. The type of government that was in power was one of a monarch who would wait for further assessment from parliament, despite Reza Shah's moments of hierarchy establishment, where he stated that his ruling was better than the parliament itself. The Shah during the Cold War was an ally of the West. This involved the extension of women voting, land reform, and the elimination of illiteracy. In 1967 he deemed himself the Emperor, or King of Kings, and his wife the Shah Banu, the Empress. This caused various amounts of conflict between social classes. Majority of the discontent was mainly due to the fact that his system had been to the benefit of some at the expense of others. Some Islamic leaders, especially the exiled Ayatollah Khomeini, were able to hone in on the discontent of some of the people, which essentially called for the overthrow of the Shah. And we see that in Persepolis on page 18, where the crowd is screaming down with the king, where Margie's parents are involved in the protests. They're throwing rocks at the army, who of course are retaliating. This continues with a short anecdote from Margie's father telling her exactly who the Shah was and what happened. The government collapsed between 1978 and 79, which succeeded the Shah's regime. To go back, one of the policies that the Shah instilled, as you can see on page 28, was once something of religious as well as a fundamental moment, as he promised, as we see on page 27, the promise of the most modern country in the entire world, where he says they will regain their splendor. We can see that he prays to his ancestors, or at least graces them with his presence, or vice versa, in order to gain the power in order to run Iran. On page 42, we see that there's a huge celebration with the fact that the Shah had left the country. Apparently, it was the biggest celebration of its entire history, which basically explains the discontent further, to which they did not like the Shah. Having cancer, the Shah left Iran in 1979 to begin his life in exile, much like his father. He moved around Africa as well as across oceans. He moved to Egypt, Morocco, the Bahamas, and Mexico, and finally the United States for treatment of lymphatic cancer. Due to the acceptance of the Shah, we gained the Iranian hostage crisis, as on November 4th, 1979, President Jimmy Carter granted access to the Shah to stay and be treated for lymphatic cancer. This was the hostage crisis was more of a representation of the break between American interference in Iran and Iran as a country. Essentially, what happened was on the 21st of January 1981, on November 4th, 1979, they took hostages from the American embassy and kept them in there for 444 days. Unfortunately, the Shah died in Cairo, Egypt on the 27th of July, 1980. Thank you.